Picture a tense Washington, D.C. courtroom, November 27, 2025. The executive branch faces off against a coalition of businesses and global partners. A judge's gavel cracks, halting former President Trump's sweeping emergency tariffs. The ruling sends shockwaves through financial markets and political circles worldwide. At stake, the limits of presidential power and the future of U.S. trade policy. The judge's decision brings clarity, but also new uncertainty. Trump's supporters call it judicial overreach. Opponents hail it as a victory for checks and balances. The legal battle is far from over, and its outcome will shape global commerce for years. To grasp the court's decision, let's revisit Trump's core trade strategy: tariffs. Tariffs are taxes on imports, designed to make foreign goods pricier and boost domestic industry. Trump's America First approach aimed to rebuild U.S. manufacturing and correct trade imbalances, especially with China and the EU. This marked a sharp break from decades of U.S. leadership in free trade. Trump's tariffs on steel, aluminum, and Chinese goods sparked a trade war. Some industries gained, but many suffered. Farmers lost export markets, and manufacturers faced higher costs. The new emergency tariff plan, now blocked, was the latest and boldest move in this ongoing battle. Understanding this context is key to the courtroom showdown. The stakes: jobs, prices, and America's place in the global economy. The latest tariff clash began October 15, 2025. Trump invoked the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, declaring a national economic emergency. He announced a 15% tariff on EU goods and 25% on Chinese imports, effective December 1. The move bypassed Congress, using emergency powers meant for genuine crises, not trade disputes. Critics argued this stretched the law's intent, igniting a constitutional showdown over separation of powers. Business groups, fearing economic harm, quickly sued, claiming the president overstepped his authority. The legal fight was set. Can a president unilaterally reshape trade policy by declaring an emergency? The answer would have sweeping consequences for U.S. law and the global economy. The courtroom became the new battleground for America's trade future. The stakes couldn't be higher. The lawsuit landed in D.C. District Court just a week after Trump's emergency declaration. Plaintiffs included major corporations, farmers, and consumer groups, all fearing chaos if tariffs took effect. Their argument: trade imbalances aren't sudden crises, and IEEPA wasn't meant for broad tariffs. IEEPA was designed to stop terrorists, not tax sneakers and smartphones, one attorney quipped. They sought an immediate injunction to block the tariffs. The Justice Department countered, insisting the president has wide discretion to address economic threats. Judge Evelyn Miller, known for her strict reading of the law, presided over a packed, high-stakes hearing. She pressed both sides on the law's language and intent. The world watched, waiting for her decision. The outcome would determine not just tariff policy, but the reach of presidential power. The stakes: billions in trade, thousands of jobs, and the balance of power in Washington. The legal drama was set for a landmark ruling. The nation held its breath. On November 27th, Judge Miller issued her decision, a preliminary injunction blocking Trump's tariffs. Her opinion was clear: the president overstepped IEEPA's authority. She ruled that long-term trade imbalances aren't the extraordinary threat the law was meant to address. IEPA isn't a blank check for the executive to bypass Congress, she wrote. The ruling was a strong defense of checks and balances. This is a temporary order, but it signals how the court may ultimately rule. Trump's team vowed to appeal, setting up a battle in higher courts. For now, the tariffs are on hold, but the legal fight is far from over. The decision reverberated through Washington and beyond. The next steps could reshape US trade law for years. The ruling brought immediate relief to businesses and consumers. Companies importing from Europe and China avoided sudden cost spikes. For families, a potential $1,000 annual price hike was averted, at least for now. The holiday shopping season was spared from tariff-driven inflation, but uncertainty lingers. An appeal could revive the threat, chilling business investment. Industries hoping for protection are disappointed, while others breathe easier. The broader economy benefits from stability, but the debate over trade policy is far from settled. The legal limbo keeps everyone guessing. For now, your wallet is safe, but the story isn't over. The next court decision could change everything. The ruling deepened Washington's political divide. Trump's allies decried judicial activism, vowing to fight to the Supreme Court. For them, it's about defending the president's power to protect American jobs. Opponents cheered the decision as a win for the rule of law and congressional authority. The issue split Republicans. Populists backed tariffs. Pro-business leaders opposed them. The legal fight became a campaign flashpoint, forcing politicians to pick sides. The Chamber of Commerce, usually GOP-aligned, led the charge against the tariffs. The ruling exposed deep rifts over trade and executive power. The debate is now front and center in American politics. The outcome will shape the next election and the future of US trade. News of the court's decision rippled across the globe. In Brussels and Beijing, leaders welcomed the pause, averting a trade war. The EU and China had prepared retaliatory tariffs, but now hope for dialogue. Global markets rallied, relieved by the reduced risk of economic chaos. Economists warned that new US tariffs could have triggered a global recession. The ruling reassured investors, but uncertainty remains as appeals loom. Foreign governments see US trade policy as unpredictable, prompting them to diversify. Even if these tariffs are defeated, America First remains a powerful force. The world is watching closely. The next US move could reshape global trade. With tariffs on hold, what's next? Trump's team has already appealed. The case heads to the DC Circuit Court. The legal process could take months, maybe years, with the Supreme Court as the final stop. Meanwhile, businesses remain in limbo, uncertain about future costs and investments. Politically, the fight shifts to Congress and the campaign trail. Lawmakers may try to clarify or limit presidential emergency powers. The core issues, trade imbalances, lost manufacturing jobs, competition with China, remain unresolved. This ruling blocks one tool, but the debate over America's economic strategy continues. The outcome will shape not just trade, but the nation's future. As the story unfolds, your voice matters. How should America handle trade? Let us know in the comments. The next chapter is being written now. Stay tuned.